Would somebody be offended if they were given a Poundland engagement ring? And it does look like, I put it on my ring finger, it looks alright. I almost was tempted to like put a picture on Facebook, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna have so many questions that are just gonna go down the wrong way, and I don't want to mislead people because that won't be good. Tan suggested tie onto ribbon and use as napkin holders. Now we are just getting to the end of January. We are weeks away to Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is coming, and you know, if you're in a couple, you need to start making those plans. And even if you're not in a couple, you might need to find someone for Valentine's Day. Depends on how much pressure you feel to do that whole thing. And of course, it's the sort of the day of love, or whatever you want to call it. And so with that, you know, you've got to try and make good plans for your spouse or your significant other on Valentine's Day. How do you make the best of Valentine's Day? And of course, all the shops get involved and they bring out some great things just for Valentine's Day. Can you see where we're going with this yet? Can you see? So last year, I tried to get hold of these and they were so hard to get hold of that I have got some of the best things you can get for Valentine's Day in the studio. I can't wait to talk to you about it. So last year, when it was Valentine's Day, I tried to get these and they were so hard to find because everybody wanted them, that when I heard that they were coming back for this year with a bit of extra as well, I was so excited that I was like there on the first day they came out. It is the Poundland engagement ring is back. Oh my word, I was so excited for this. I don't even know why, it's not like I'm gonna get engaged. But it's like the whole thing of the fact that it's £1. It's an actual engagement ring that costs £1. If you didn't know, it's from Poundland. It is £1. Last year I tried to get hold of these and everywhere I went, I even had friends going to Poundlands and they were so hard to find that when I heard they would come back, I saw it on Twitter and I was like, no way, I have to be there, I have to get it. I was down in the Weymouth Poundland the first day it came out last week. I was like, I've got to get these. And I did. I was very chuffed with myself. And so last year, they just brought out the ladies' engagement ring. And I managed to get some of those. They have 4 different designs. So I thought, you know what, I'm not going to get all 4 because that's a little bit, you know, other people want them as well. So I just went for some of the classic looking ones. There's like, there's the sort of a square one with like a lovely little, it almost looks like a diamond, but you know, I don't know what this is. It's from Poundland. And they're in like these lovely velvety heart-shaped boxes. Against like so it's a heart and it's red on the outside, black on the inside, looking very fancy. And then I also found one that is also got like a stone in the middle, but then like embellishes around the outside. You've got like a classic looking one and maybe a bit of an older looking one. And then they also had a blue one with sort of like a silver band with a blue stone, and then also a red one, a red stone which is in the shape of a heart. I mean, how lovely is that? But of course, because this year is also a leap year, they also brought out the engagement ring for men. So if you're a lady and you're thinking, you know what, or if you just want to have that opportunity to make use of the leap year opportunity, you can do that because they now have the man's engagement ring in a blue box and they have different designs. These are much simpler than the ladies. They're sort of like gold or silver sort of bands, basically. I was like, oh my word, how on earth, first off, how on earth do you make an engagement ring for like £1? Amazing. I don't know what they're made out of, I have no idea. But yeah, they're there. And so I've got so many questions about the Poundland engagement ring. It's all right there. Also, it was really hard shopping for the Poundland engagement ring because I got in there. Luckily, there was quite a few on the shelf and they've got like ring sizes on them. Who knows their ring size? I don't, unless you're like close to get engaged, who on earth knows their ring size? I don't know. And of course, they're all sealed boxes, so I had to just go off of like what I thought looked like the right size and went for like one that I thought might fit my hand in some way. Not that I need it to fit on my engagement finger, because, you know, I don't want to look like I'm already engaged when I'm not. Like, I'm not going to propose to myself, am I? I mean, you could. And then we also just got one for the men's as well. So I've got a selection of engagement rings here, and they all cost £1. It's amazing. But I have so many questions about the Poundland engagement ring. Starting off with, would you tell your significant other when you propose to them that their engagement ring cost £1? It's quite exciting, really. Also, just the attention to detail in these things. I was having a look at one getting out of the box, because they're in these special boxes, and it's quite fancy. It's in like the women's ones are in like a heart-shaped box, a red heart-shaped box, and then it's sort of black in the side, looking all fancy. Can you imagine sort of getting down on one knee doing that whole thing? And I was just kind of thinking about it. Would somebody be offended if they were given a Poundland engagement ring? Like, I'd love to hear if anybody got one last year. Did anybody get proposed to with a Poundland engagement ring? Is it like a good reaction or a bad reaction? The big question I had though is, do you tell the person you propose to that their engagement ring only cost £1? See, that's a tricky one. I think you'd have to know the person really well, hopefully you already know them really well, to know how they're going to take that. But at the same time, like, how are you going to feel if you got proposed to with a Poundland engagement ring? Or maybe you just never tell them, because, like, I mean, it does look like a proper engagement ring, well, it should do, and it's made of some sort of metal or material. You know, it looks good for what it is, you know. Poundland engagement ring. Could you pass it off? Maybe people won't know that you've given them a ring that costs only £1. And then if you don't tell them, and they put this thing on, and then they're thinking, you know what, I'm engaged, it's all happy days. Are you going to be like living in fear for the rest of your life that you never told your significant other that their engagement ring only cost £1? Because an engagement ring is don't people wear that like literally all the time? And sometimes cheap rings, you never know, they sort of turn green, and that would be like the worst thing to happen. They'd be like, honey, why is the ring turning green? Why is or is this like a dummy ring until you go to the shops and then get the real ring? Because obviously it's quite hard to know people's ring sizes. You never know. And to know what people want as well, maybe you propose with like a dummy ring and then go and buy a real one. I know I do have a few friends who did propose to their now wives with a Haribo ring. So I've seen it done before. That's like a whole thing. But I just can't get over like the whole idea of giving someone a £1 ring for an engagement. Would you take it well, or would it just sort of crumble in flames? I don't know, that's the big question. With the engagement ring, which only costs £1, does that mean that you spend more on the engagement because you've saved money on the ring? You know? Because engagements now seem to be quite a big deal. I mean, I know people who really go big on the engagement, the whole proposal of the whole thing. The planning that goes into getting to that point is quite a lot of pressure. It does leave you with extra money to go and, you know, do that whole thing. So it could be to your advantage. Or if this is a dummy ring, then, you know, doesn't really do that. I love Jason, who messaged in. He said that surely the sentiment behind the ring is the point. Well, I'd hope so. I hope it doesn't really matter what type of ring you get. It's the fact that you got one, you know? That somebody, like, loves you that much that they want to spend the rest of their lives with you. That whole kind of, you know, the whole ideal. Even if it's £1. I mean, if people can get engaged with Haribo rings, a £1 engagement ring is not bad. And it does look like, I put it on my ring finger, it looks alright. It's passing pretty well, I think. It's doing a good job. I almost was tempted to like put a picture on Facebook, but I thought, you know what? I'm gonna have so many questions that are just gonna go down the wrong way, and I don't want to mislead people because that won't be good. I'll probably just find like other opportunities to wear these rings just because I can, you know. Just put them on different just put them on different fingers, and we'll be okay. I don't know. Or maybe I need to find someone to propose to by Valentine's Day. This could be a thing also. I've got 3 different rings here of different sizes. Could be a thing. I was thinking, when you get these rings, it's £1 and it might be a gimmicky thing or whatever. I went and got these rings because they were so hard to get hold of last year. I just had to do it this year. And I ended up with 3 different rings because, you know, who knows what's going to happen. I've got 2 female ones and 1 male one. So, you know. But now I've got 3 engagement rings I don't know what to do with. I'm trying to have a good think. What could I do with these engagement rings? I did have a friend who suggested that maybe like I could just like see who fits the ring best, and there you go. A whole new way to get engaged to someone. I mean, who knows? It could be anybody. I've got so many different rings. Or, you know, plan an elaborate engagement to someone. Or help somebody plan their own engagement because we have got 3 rings here. That could happen. Taylor Swift, just reminding everybody why she's the man. Mm-hmm. Now, on Monday's show, we talked about my favourite thing at the moment. It is the Poundland engagement ring. Oh, yes.
Are you obsessed with Poundland?
How did you guess?
The t-shirt, the rings.
I do have a little bit of an obsession with places like Poundland. Yep. I don't know what it is. It's just grown over the last sort of few years because they bring out some of the best stuff.
Random things.
Yeah, I mean like the invisibility clothes.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. And also, I've discovered over Christmas they did like a Poundland set where you had like a mug.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like pens and a mouse mat, all sorts. It's not like I got one or anything, so but I liked it. It was good.
Fun for next year.
Oh yeah, we are doing it. So this obsession with the Poundland engagement ring started last year because they brought it out.
Yep.
And I couldn't get one. Was so upset.
Oh, shame.
I got one this year.
Yay!
Well, actually, I got 3. I got 3 engagement rings. And we talked about it on the show on Monday, and just things like, you know, would you tell your significant other that you got a £1 ring for their engagement? You know, that's a tough one. Or would it be like a dummy ring for you to then go and get, like they could choose their ring?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Or does that mean that you spend more on the engagement because the ring only cost you £1?
Yes.
There's so many questions that this brings up. And because we have got the £1 engagement ring, I've got 3 of them, I asked you guys what I should do with them. What do I do with my rings now? I've had so many suggestions. I am just reveling in the awesomeness that is the Poundland engagement ring. Oh yes!
You are obsessed.
Max is just sighing at me right here. But he doesn't realise the awesomeness that this is. So I did ask people, now that I've got 3 of these rings, and I was like, what do I do with them? Now that I've got them, I mean, now it's not like I've got anybody to propose to. But anyway, I was like, what can I do with these Poundland engagement rings? I have had so many responses on social media. It's been fantastic. I'm so excited. So I thought I'd throw some at you, Max, and you can like maybe let me know what you think of some of these.
Yeah.
So first of all, on Instagram, I actually really liked this idea, but I feel like you have to be really confident in doing it. Poundland Lad says, get down on one knee in town and propose to someone, and then they need to propose to another person. So you start like a proposal chain with the proposal rings. Like, yeah, this could be like a whole thing.
That's such an idea. Like, we should just get loads of people to do that in town.
Yeah.
And then have an actual proposal at the end.
Wow, you'd have to actually find someone who wants to propose with a ring.
True.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That is, yeah. You never know if you are getting engaged or if you're thinking about it, you can let us know. Yeah. So yeah, if you see me in town with a bunch of rings, be careful because I might be coming to you. Starting a proposal chain. I'd have to then like stalk people and make sure they don't run off with the ring. Like, I don't want to just propose to one person and they run off
with the rest of the ring.
There's no proposal chain. That would be so sad. Yeah, I know, right? We also had Slade who says, well, it's a leap year. I know it's a leap year, but I've got 3 rings. Like, I've got 1 male ring and 2 female rings. What does it really matter? Unless they've got small fingers. Yeah. Because we had to be a man with really small fingers, dainty fingers. I don't know. But, that's like a whole thing. Also, you need to find somebody to propose to. Yeah. That's like half of the battle. Tomato Lemons on Instagram says you could propose to the Poundland CEO.
That would be funny.
That would be good.
Yeah.
But
they know you are a real Poundland fan.
That's true, because I am a real Poundland fan. Yes. And then I thought I'm going to take this one step further. So I shared my experience with the Poundland rings on a special group on Facebook called the Poundland Appreciation Society. Amazing!
Yeah!
Did you even know that this existed?
Not until you told me a minute ago.
There you go. They have got so many suggestions because the people in that group are so creative with Poundland stuff. Like, it's amazing how crafty they can get.
Things in there.
For example, Tan suggested tie onto ribbon and use as napkin holders.
That's such a smart idea.
I know, like, crafty things you could do with Poundland engagement rings. I could have like the most unique, like,
that should be an idea for the show. Like another time with the rings,
like a Blue Peter moment like this one I made earlier.
Yes.
I'll have to think about it. Watch the Space Valentine's Day show. We're gonna do how to make napkin rings from your Poundland engagement ring.